Committee meeting of Wednesday, March 19th. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 7 p.m. For those of you who are wondering why I'm doing this and not the chairperson, we had our annual elections, and right now we don't have a chair or a vice chair, so until they are appointed at some point of this meeting, I will run the meeting until then. So let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Will, come on up.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, and you will.
Good. So MCAS is starting tomorrow, and that'll be going through till May 25th. So I think they'll be testing Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday. So they'll be pretty busy. AP tests are starting to wrap up, so I think we only have like 2 or 3 more maybe, and that's pretty exciting, especially for the seniors, because everybody's classes are starting to kind of finish up. So it's kind of nice to start feeling like we're actually coming to the end. So baseball, softball, and track are all still ongoing, and I gotta say everybody was really excited to hear about the easing up of the mask requirements. So I've kind of heard people like talking about that all like the last few days and stuff, so that's pretty exciting. And the athletic banquet will be on June 12th for all of them, so that'll be a good night for everyone. Special Olympics is next Thursday, so on May 27th, and the students will be competing in events, I'm pretty sure here in the gym, and the high school band will also be playing during that. And Mrs. Stand is planning an art show, hopefully sometime in June, and we can showcase the students' art from the last 2 years, so that would be pretty exciting to see. So. Also, I just want to say thank you to everyone. This is my last meeting here, so I just wanted to thank you for the opportunity of working with you guys. For the last 2 years, it's been a really good opportunity, and I liked working with all of you, so thank you.
Thank you, Will.
Right.
You make Douglas proud.
Thank you. I appreciate
Congratulations.
it.
Do you leave again?
I leave June 30th, or I probably leave a little bit before that, but that's the day I report, so.
And what does your summer look like there? They told you?
Yeah, it's boot
Romano?
camp. Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be 6 weeks of plebe summer. So
Yep.
everybody getting in your face and a lot of learning curves there and stuff. So I'm super excited though. Summer will be cut short or whatever, but I mean it'll be worth it. I'll learn a lot. So I'm really excited for that. So
And for those people who are watching and may not know, where are you going again?
the Naval Academy. It's in Maryland. So
Correct.
Yep.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Congratulations, Will. We're all very proud of you.
Thank you.
Best of
phenomenal.
luck.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Any other questions?
Do you have a replacement for us?
Do I what? I'll have to pass it down to someone else. So.
I'm joking.
Of course, picked it up from Natalie.
Right.
Older sister Natalie, who had done it for at least a year, and so yeah, now I've got to go outside the family and find
I'm joking. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank Will.
you.
Thank
Good luck,
you.
Will.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
You too.
Okay, thank you.
All right, at this time, we'll open it up to public comment. If anyone in the public has anything they'd like to say, now would be your time. All right. Seeing none, I'd like to welcome and introduce our new school committee member, Monique Salvis. Welcome to the Douglas School Committee and a 3-year journey with us.
Thank you.
So welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's a quick learning curve.
Yeah, I gathered that.
We'll help you along with it. So one of the things we have to do, and one of the first things we need to do, is we need to appoint a chair and a vice chair. We'll do that at this meeting, and then at our next meeting, we'll look at our subcommittees and reorganize our subcommittees. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion for the chair of the Douglas Public School Committee.
I would love to make a motion to nominate Heather Moran. If she
Motion
will- if
made
she will have
by
it.
Mrs. Brown for
Second.
Heather Moran as the chair. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mrs. Charniak. Any discussion?
You good with that, Heather?
I'm a glutton for punishment, sure. I humbly accept it from Lisa. I've been mentored well the last 2 years here, well, year.
I'm not going anywhere, so
I know.
we'll get through it.
Right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, 4-0. You are now the chair, and I'll turn the meeting over to you now.
Here you go.
Do we have to do a motion for the vice chair too, as well? So I enter a motion for a vice chair for the school board committee.
And I would like to make a motion to nominate Becky Chaniak as vice chair, if she will have it.
Yeah, I'm willing to.
Okay?
I second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Welcome to the team.
Thank you.
We're going to do the reorganization next week, or next time we meet, or do we want to do that tonight?
Can we do it next time we meet,
Yep.
please?
Do we have any old business that we want to go over? Seeing none, any new business?
I'm gonna throw you a curveball right now with new business. My husband showed me like a Twitter video of a high schooler running into a tree in a baseball field. Do we know about that? And should we get rid of the trees?
The tree came out of nowhere.
Sorry.
I never even noticed
Mr.
it
Romano?
before.
Yes, so indeed, the young man was chasing down a pop fly, and there are some trees that are kind of just outside of the baseline down there. There's 3 of them that we're going to need to take down, but we need to put it, I think you guys have to approve that because it's a change to the physical plant, so to speak. So I did talk to Mr. Collette. We just need you guys to approve it, and then we'll have those trees removed. Because the next time, you know, it was an injury that he walked away from, but it's sooner or later, it's going to be an injury that a student doesn't walk away from. There was actually a second student who could have gone the same route and ended up being a little more mindful because he had just watched the other guy get taken out by the tree. So, yeah.
Okay, so maybe another time.
It's going to be on the next school committee
Great.
agenda to have those trees removed.
Okay, thank you.
Is he okay? Is he okay?
He's good.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you very much.
No.
Any other new business? Okay, I turn it over to Dr. Vera for the superintendent's report, please.
All right. Well, Will talked a little bit about the new mask mandate, so just to highlight it, effective today, we implemented the new mask mandate that the governor put into place on Monday, that the CDC actually approved last week. Just to highlight some of the things, I know people have already seen it. Students will no longer have to wear masks outside, even if they cannot social distance. So kids can be outside and not have to wear masks. This applies to recess, physical education classes, and as we saw yesterday from the MIAA, also to sports. So in playing sports, kids do not have to wear masks outside. Adults must continue to wear masks outdoors if they cannot socially distance. So if you're coming from your car into the school and you're by yourself, that's fine. If you're watching your child play, if you can maintain that social distance, you don't need to wear a mask. If you're closer than 6 feet, then you do need to wear a mask outside if you're an adult. Obviously, inside, students will have to continue wearing masks. And, I was at the elementary school today. I was in a second grade class, and the teacher was going over all the new rules, and you forget about this. At the high school level, it's easy. Kids, when you're outside, you don't have to wear one. When you're inside, you do. In the second grade, it was, okay, you have to wear your mask outside. Now when you get outside, what are you going to do with your mask? Remember, you can't all be at the playground at the same time if you're not wearing masks. Make sure you maintain a little social distancing. So the teachers were going over those norms with the kids in the elementary school. So that's one of the big changes that came down this week. We had a meeting with the Department of Education and Commissioner Riley, and just a couple things. I know Mr. Romano will speak about one of them shortly, but they're considering summer school this year, whether it's ESY or remediation, an extension of this school year. And what that means is all the rules that were in place in May and June will also be in place in July and August for the summer programs. DESI stating that in early to mid-June, they're going to issue some new guidance as to what September is going to look like to give schools time to start planning. They're going to talk about masks and whether or not people have to wear masks. They're going to talk about spacing of desks. Is it a 2, 3 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet, no feet? There'll be guidance on that, and there'll be some guidance back about close contacts. Who do we have to identify as a close contact? Who don't we have to identify? Who needs to quarantine? Who doesn't need to quarantine? So they said they want to give us that information in mid-June so we can start planning for next year already. So we'll have that out shortly. Will talked about the sports. It's great to have our sports teams back out there. I've been to a couple baseball practices. I've watched Mr. Furno out at softball a couple times. It's just great to see the kids back out there participating. Today, we put out a survey for meals. I mentioned this earlier. We're able to provide families with free breakfast and lunch 7 days a week throughout the summer. Obviously, that'll entail a little bit of work. We have to hire someone to come in. We need to put the food together and have parents come pick it out. But we did a survey today. I think I checked about an hour before we came here. We had 66 people respond to the survey, and 30 had indicated that they were interested in having breakfast and lunch. So just a great opportunity for the community to come in, have breakfast and lunch for kids available 7 days a week. We have that survey available and open, I believe, through Friday the 28th, and I know the principals will be sharing it out in their newsletters this week. A big shout out to our nurses, the Board of Health, and Mr. Romano. We did a not a flu clinic, a COVID shot clinic here. I think we had 80 people participate? It was at least 80. At least 80. So again, a great opportunity for kids to get vaccinated. We're looking to see if we can open that up again and do an after-school vaccination for the community. And the second shot, I believe, is the week after graduation, the 4th, 5th, 6th?
Monday after graduation, which is the 7th.
The 7th. So, and it was the Pfizer vaccine. So again, thank you to the Board of Health for that. Before the next part of my report, just want to know if anyone has questions about COVID, masks, social distancing, anything? Good, all right. And then finally, we haven't met since we had the odor of last Monday. When we were coming to school, one of the custodians came in the morning and detected an odor. He called Mr. Collette. Mr. Collette called the fire department. They pulled the alarm. The police department were fantastic. The fire department was great. We had hazmat come here, and it was determined that in our generator room, after a lot of analysis, 2 of the batteries burnt out, and it gave off an off gas that filtered through the ceiling into one of the air ducts and throughout the school. So you had that burning smell in the school, which is an odor you never want to have. And they didn't know where it was coming from. They didn't know if it was toxic. At first, they thought it was maybe some radiant that leaked from one of the rooftop units, and they were worried about that. Then they thought maybe it was something from the traps in the science room. It wasn't that, so we were able to detect that. But kids, Mr. Olson did a great job housing the kids over at the elementary school. Thank you to Mr. Bell for accommodating them for that day. Kids were inside, then they were outside for a little bit, then finally at 10:30, they were allowed back into the building. Telstone was on call. Again, a big thank you to them. We didn't know if we were going to have to send the kids home or not, so we had Telstone available during the time just in case we had to send kids home. But it all worked out. I just wanted to share that with everyone as to what happened. Questions? All right. Next on the agenda is our middle school schedule. Really excited about the opportunities, and Mr. Olson will come up and talk a little bit about the schedule. Really excited about the opportunities this is going to provide our middle school kids. Ralph spent a lot of time putting this together and working with teachers to put together what you'll see is pretty unique, a well-thought-out, student-centered plan that's going to offer kids a lot of opportunities that they haven't had built into the school day in several years. So with that big build-up, Mr. Olson?
Yes, sir. Good evening. It was a very interesting process, quite frankly, coming in and looking at the middle school schedule for the first time. It was kind of daunting, confusing, that coupled with the iPass software, which is a little bit inadequate on its own as well. So it's even very difficult to know exactly where the teachers are, where the students are, where the specials are. The primary disadvantage is the fact that each one of the grades has its own schedule, its own time schedule. The 8th grade, as you can see from the piece that's been given to you on the schedule that is currently they're operating with, the 8th grade has 7 classes altogether. Their additional class is the Spanish class that goes along with the basic academic areas, ELA, math, science, and social studies. They also have the specials that are in there as well. So that makes up their 7 periods. The other 2 grades are limited to the basic academic areas and the specials that they have there. So there's only 6 subjects altogether. But if you look at the times are also different for the 6th and 7th grade too. So it's a little bit all over the place. Probably the one thing that jumps out administratively is the fact that you really cannot use personnel efficiently when everybody operates off of a different schedule. You had an overabundance of paraprofessionals in the building, quite frankly, and that's why the recommendation came through that they were going to cut a few of them to begin with. And I think we can really effectuate some efficiency next year when we move to the one schedule, because now they can cross over, go into different grade levels and so forth. This year, it's very difficult because their times are consumed in one class, they have to move over to another, and there's overlapping time, there's gaps in there, and it's extremely difficult to schedule substitutes as well. Teachers, same thing. They're kind of locked into the grade that they're in, and you can't move them all over the place at all. So in our discussions, and it was kind of a collaborative one, both with the teachers, each one of the teams that I met with the specials, and we wanted to find out what's the best direction to go in here. And we all kind of agreed, and I think Dr. Vera felt the same way. We'd like to go with a 7-period schedule altogether. Periods have decreased slightly. There was the suggestion was to reduce the time of the cells just a little bit. It seemed to be a little bit too elongated, both for the students and for the teachers. I'm going to flip back again to the schedule that you have presently. One of the things that we are really missing in the current schedule is the ability to collaborate. Each team from each grade does have the opportunity once a day. However, within the content area, vertically from one grade to another, there's not much opportunity at all. One of the other missing ingredients that we have is the inability to have our co-teachers that are in special education or inclusion classrooms. They don't have an opportunity to really get together. So when you go in to observe a class that's inclusion, you don't see it in its purest sense. It's not seamless. You're not seeing co-presentations. You're not seeing co-assessments. You're not seeing co-planning. You're seeing some respect factors. You're seeing support of the lesson, but that's as far as it goes. So this change, I think, is going to help us facilitate a little bit of that. The specials have also been underutilized this year, and the COVID schedule is probably responsible for that more than anything else. But the way that it was structured, they only go in for a couple of weeks, and then they move on to another special. So there's no focus on the curriculum that's in that particular area. When the specials are not teaching, and they are teaching the 3 teams, so there's 3 periods out of the 6 that they're actually teaching in their area of expertise. That means you're wasting time putting them in remediation classes, which is basically a study that the kids are in while your mainstream teachers are instructing remotely. So that goes by the boards next year, because we're hoping that we can go into a regular schedule, we can tap into their expertise, and we can get into their areas of expertise and really create some interesting courses for the students. The other thing is that this schedule that you have this year is static. It does not move at all. So you don't see the kids at different times. The kids don't see the teachers at different times. And I find that it's very healthy to be able to see people at different times during the day. We have morning people, we have afternoon people. Some people behave a little bit different after lunch. So that's an ingredient to take into consideration, and that's why we incorporated that into the schedule that we put together. So if you flip over to the other one, in order to facilitate this, in order to give the specials ample amount of time to work with the students, we decided to go from the trimester to the quarter system. On the quarter system, the specials are now going to be able to see them for an entire quarter, that 8 or 9 week period of time. So then they will move on to the next special. So the students will get the 4 exposures, but at the same time, they're going to get enough of the substance of the course area so that hopefully it'll stimulate some interest. The idea is to give the kids an opportunity to have exposure, some true exposure. You'll also look at the top of that chart, and the times are pretty equitable across the board. They're 46 minutes. You have a 1 hour block, the 5th period. But again, if you look at just down below that, we have a 6-day rotation. There's no drop schedule like the high school. The 7 periods all rotate, and under IPASS, the periods are delineated by alpha, not by numerical. So the days are numerical, the periods are alpha. You will not see the G period first thing during the day because it flips back again. That's kind of by design because we wanted to create some classes that would interface with one another if we offered them every other day. So the 6-day cycle enables us to do that, and I'll elaborate on that in just a minute. So again, this is healthy because the kids are going to see the teachers at different times, and the teachers are going to see the kids at different times, and I think everybody's kind of excited about that. The other thing with the 7 periods, it allows us to do some different things, adding to the 6th grade and the 7th grade schedules. The teams felt they had tried it once before, but they have a curriculum and they're fairly excited about it. The 6th grade team would like to do reading across the curriculum for 1 period. There will also be an elective period for those 6th graders also, but that 1 period they will stay with 1 teacher for the entire quarter. Then they will move on to the next one, so that the reading across the curriculum will actually focus on the content area of the teacher that's teaching the class at the same time. So there'll be a little focus on math 1 quarter, science, and so forth, right on down the line. The 7th grade is doing writing across the curriculum, and in a similar fashion, they're going to rotate, and the writing will be reflective of the content area in their areas as well. The 8th grade teachers actually wanted to do something more with electives and not necessarily have the students all locked in on 1 period. So they also have Spanish in their curriculum. So there actually is 5 classes, and that's pretty comparable to the other 2 grades that you're looking at there too. So we came up with some electives. I have been able to look at the schedule. I went into the bunker over April vacation. I started manipulating things around. We are going to give special educators that are inclusion classroom teachers the opportunity to meet with mainstream teachers that they're assigned to. We've already assigned the times and everything for the inclusion classrooms, and there will be opportunities to plan, assess, and present so they can do it the way that inclusion was designed to do so. So that is going to happen. There are also some opportunities for the content areas. I'm not going to tell you it's perfect because in most instances, it's 2 grades that have an opportunity to get together, not just the 3. You're dealing with a small school here, and when you're dealing with a small school, trying to make everything work perfectly becomes difficult. It's a little bit easier from my experience when I have 2,000 kids in a high school and I'm putting a schedule together because there's all sorts of flexibility that you can go with. But I think we've maximized the ability to collaborate, and I'm a firm believer that you don't grow in isolation as a teacher, and when you're in there with your colleagues, it's an opportunity to grow and you learn from one another. And I think the teachers are pretty excited about the prospects of being able to collaborate, get together, and move the culture and move the climate just a little bit. So collaboration will be the order of the day. We're going to maximize personnel. The specials are now going to be teaching 2 extra classes. I'm not going to go through all the electives. I can present them to you. We did have a Zoom meeting last night with parents of the now 5th, 6th, and 7th graders, and we went over the electives, asking them to prioritize what their choices might be. Again, because we're a small school and there's small offerings for the electives, we're going to try our best to set them up, but there are certain parameters in the schedule that we have to look at, such as in the 8th grade, there are honors algebras, 2 sections. We've got a couple of sections of inclusion that are in there too. And we've got to kind of comply with that before we get into the rest of the kind of things. We will be able to offer band, and we're going to do it 2 periods. We're going to have the 8th grade band 1 period. We'll also have the chorus the same period. Now, I can only use that music person for 2 periods because she's already booked in for the 3 for the teams. On those periods, with the 8th grade, she will have every other day with the band, and she'll have every other day with the chorus. Some kids may not want both of those, and we've also put other classes in there that would mesh with them, both in physical education, art, and a number of the other classes that are there too. And there's some interesting ones that are there. Mindfulness, there's some yoga that's there, there's some digital photography. There's a decent array of interesting kind of things, so I think the kids are going to have a good opportunity to make some suggestions. But I've already told them, don't necessarily count on getting the number 1 pick for everybody, because it's not going to quite work out that way. So again, the specials are going to be very busy. The people that I was able to draw from on these electives were the 8th graders, because they had the gaps in their schedule. They're not doing that reading and writing across the curriculum. So I was able to plug them in. We do have a debate mock trial course that's going to be taught, that they'll actually be in competition with other schools as a part of what's going on here. It's quite a program, actually, throughout the state. One of the big things that I'm pleased about is that we are putting together an academic development center that's going to be a second-tier intervention. It's going to be open. We have plenty of flexibility on room. We have a nice learning center on the 2nd floor. We're going to be opening that up. It's going to be overseen by a paraprofessional. It's going to be staffed by special educators and mainstream teachers, as well as paraprofessionals. And Josh has already indicated to us, we met with him during vacation, that he's got at least 10, maybe more, students that would be able to come down to the middle school and provide tutoring for the students and academic support as well. I do have somebody from Framingham that I work with that set up a similar situation, and he's going to train the students either in August or in September when it all starts. So it was very interesting. The response that we got from the parents that came in last night put a very high priority on wanting their students in this. A number of them do want the added support, particularly right away. It's very flexible, because if the student needs support throughout the year, they can get it. If the student needs it for a semester, you may have the individual that goes in there and has a tough first semester that may want to go in the second semester because things aren't going great. So there's a lot of flexibility. You can also prescribe somebody to go in there that may be out sick for a period of time, that sync the schedule of the 2 schools so that they're going to be seeing the same kids over and over again. So they will be coming in, they'll service the students, but the para is going to be overseeing the progress of the students. She'll be the conduit of information flow between the teachers and the people that are working with the students to provide them with the extra support. So we're hoping that 2 things are going to happen as a result of this. You're going to improve your learning at the school, and you're going to improve the climate at the school in many respects. And I think there's a lot of people that are very optimistic about it. So that's where we are.
Pretty cool stuff, huh?
Questions?
Yep.
Questions?
I'm just impressed.
Yeah, that was a lot.
I mean, you're here as an interim, and this is awesome. I'm impressed. Thank you.
Okay.
While you're up there, just you want to give your highlights of the rest of the school year,
Sure.
other than the schedule?
This is virgin turf for me, so I'm coming in February. It was an interesting situation. Our MCAS exams start. They were a little bit delayed on identifying the dates for the middle school. This next Friday, we'll have the first ELA exam, and it will be for the 8th grade. After that, it'll kind of be in sequence, and over the next 2 weeks, we'll be covering it. Each one of the exams are only one session this time, so it's a little bit on the easier side. For the most part, remote kids will be participating, and we've already made arrangements for that. Our guidance, our counselor, Caitlin McCardle, has scheduled the people and done a nice job with it. And, you know, I do have to acknowledge the fact that both on the schedule and the MCAS is both Mr. Aronian and Ms. McCardle have been major helps, as well as the teachers in all this process. Your activities that you have set up here, they have marked down June 14th as the step-up day. I guess probably the students from the elementary school are going to be coming up to the middle school at that time, and you know, we'll have a little discussion at that point. I think there were a lot of them that were out in the audience at the Zoom meeting last night. We actually had about 80% of your fifth graders that were tuned in with their families last night, so everybody's pretty informed as far as the schedule is concerned. On the June 15th, they're going to have the field day that they have at the school for the middle school students. 16th is the grade 8 promotion day, and the following day is the rain date, just in case you might need it. They've outlined kind of the COVID restrictions that the superintendent has laid out for us. Right now, they're looking at 3 members per family and having social distance, and we'll comply with everything that's there. Grade 8 also has a celebration later in that day from 4 to 8. They go to the West End Creamery. There is mini golf there. There's a backyard jump, whatever that is. I'm not really sure. And there's lawn games, pizzas, snacks, waters, lemonade, and ice cream. That's down on Purgatory Road in Whitingsville, and I guess the parents are going to have to drop their kids off down there and facilitate that from happening. The summer program, which we're all into, is going to be happening also. They're going to be housing grades 6 through 10 over at the middle school. We're in the process right now of, we have several kids that we're working with that we would prefer not to retain this year, so they're receiving some intervention. We're working with them. We're trying to get some production out of them. If we do, some of them may need to still go to the summer school program so that they will not be retained and they can move on to the next grade.
Awesome.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right.
Thank you.
Mrs. Socia, the bar is set high.
I think I exceeded the time limit, Doc.
You're all
Sorry
right.
about that.
You're good. You're on a roll.
All right, this is different. Good evening. Welcome, Monique. So for the primary school, everything that we're doing at the end of the year has been modified. So we've had to make a few adjustments to field day and things like that. So we have field day for grade 1. Each grade is having their separate field day, so they'll have rotations, so the teachers have developed a schedule for them. And it's not a full day, it's more of a morning event, a couple of hours. We will not be able to have parents attend the field day this year. So the field day dates are June 7th for grade 1 and June 10th for kindergarten. And then we have a PTO walkathon on June 2nd with a rain date of June 9th. That will be on the track. And again, the PTO will arrange that. There'll be a schedule of classes doing that. A little bit modified as well, as far as having too many kids out there at the same time. Grade 1 will have an end-of-the-year celebration this year. So this will be outside on the track, and we are doing 2 classes at a time. So the dates for 2 classes will be on June 10th, Mrs. Lancaster and Miss Matchett, and June 11th will be Mrs. Berthium and Mrs. Wheeler at 1 o'clock. So it's a very modified program. We'll do the best that we can. I'm sure whatever they do will be cute. So that's the good thing. They're always cute. Preschool will have their own little graduation again, very short and sweet, on June 14th and 15th. Teachers are sending out invitations, and that's right at 2 o'clock. So it's at the end of the day, right at dismissal time. Not sure what they have planned, but again, they're cute, so it doesn't matter, right? Step-up day, grade 1 will be going to the elementary school on June 16th at 9 a.m. They will meet their teacher for next year. They're also going to pick a date and go down and have recess at the elementary school playground. And we're also doing end-of-the-year Ames Web assessments in there, and teachers working on the class list for the following year. We will have a popsicle party for everyone the last week of school, and staff will have a staff luncheon the last day of school on Webster Lake at Point Breeze. And we're also running the summer remediation program. So our kindergarten going into grade 1, the teachers have developed a list according to certain criteria who will be invited. Letters will go out June 1st for that. It's running from July 26th to August 19th, Monday through Thursday from 8:30 to 11:30. Class size is a max of 10. So we're hoping to catch them up on some of their skills that we fell behind on. I think that's it. Any questions?
I have one.
Okay.
Are we doing away with kindergarten graduations and
Yes.
switching to grade 1 going forward?
Yes.
Okay.
That was time for a change.
Yep.
Because they're in the middle grade, and they always just traditionally had kindergarten graduation because they were in the early childhood center for years. And now with grade 1 being the last grade in the building, it makes sense to do something for them moving up to the next building.
Okay.
In
Thank you.
preschool, it's only for the 4-year-olds going into kindergarten that they're doing something for.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Bell?
All right, how's everybody? Today we finished up MCAS with all the main sessions. We still have some makeups we need to do that we'll get done over the next couple days here, but that's exciting to be done with those, and everything went smoothly there. We're finishing up our SAFE with our 3rd graders and our DARE lessons with our 5th graders. I think we have 2 more sessions of each. They were Officer Brett and Firefighter Joe were both there today, and we have a couple more over the next couple weeks, and then we'll do a celebration at the end for both of those. The 5th grade will be a part of the 5th grade graduation, and the 3rd grade Firefighter Joe's got some gift bags, has Senator Fatman certificates and some things like that that the kids will get. So we're excited about that. The staff have been working hard on our literacy plan and the book rooms that we're working on with Cindy and I have been doing. And so we're close to being done with something that we can present to school committee, so we'll be doing that soon. And then the teachers are also working on class lists and summer remediation and all those things. So we hopefully in about a week and a half, we'll have those fairly finalized, ready for all the move-up days and those types of things. Some dates coming up, like Cindy said, we have the walkathon on June 2nd. We have the 5th grade move-up day on June 11th. We have field day on June 14th, and at field day we'll have an ice cream truck, which is exciting. So PTO got that worked out for us. We're going to have our K through 4 move-up day on June 16th. 5th grade graduation will be on June 16th also. We are going to do the 5th grade graduation at the middle school auditorium. We'll have just the students there, and we'll stream it out to parents. We'll also record it for parents to watch. And we're working on getting a photographer that will be there that can take pictures of the kids getting a certificate that we'll send home with all the kids. It might not make it home by the last day of school, but we'll have a way for you guys to get it also. So we're excited about that. The talent show, which is my favorite thing of the whole year, is on June 17th. We finished our auditions today. I think we're going to have 20 acts that are going to perform. Mr. Bell will be performing something. That'll be a surprise. I don't know what it is yet. But that will also be in the middle school auditorium. The students that are participating will be in the auditorium, and the rest of the class, any other students will be watching it on Zoom in their classrooms. So we'll have a live audience that will make it a little more fun for the kids that are performing. But that should be a good way to finish off the year. And the last day is a half day. We're going to do a staff versus 5th grade kickball game that we have done. We didn't do it last year, but the year before we had done it. If you want to see some competitive staff, then come out on that day. And then we're going to have a staff get together after all the kids are gone also. So it should be a good way to end the year and celebrate doing some great things at the elementary school. Any questions?
I have a quick one. Will the remote kids have a chance to be part of the move-up?
Yes, so as we get all of these things that are special, we've talked a lot about this, that we want to involve the whole school. And so some of the things you have to physically be there for, and we will invite our remote students to come in for that. Some of the things, it's something that you can Zoom into. And so we'll be sending out more information as those individual things get coming up. I know the classroom teacher, the remote homeroom teachers have been they've been great about advocating and trying to be creative with what those things could look like. So, but yes, we will we want the kids to come back and have a chance to be around their peers. I mean, field day, it's outside, it's something that maybe not everybody feels safe doing, but we can have some kids that didn't quite feel safe to come back to school that can participate in some of those things. So we're excited about getting some kids around other kids that haven't been able to do that in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Romano.
So a good chunk of this is actually repeating what Will said, but this is a busy time for the high school. So the students on May 28th, that's a week from Friday, they will turn in their Chromebooks and they'll get their guidance forms and their health forms and all that great stuff. And then we'll have, Monday is the holiday. So June 1st is when senior week really begins. They will have their caps and gowns will be handed out that morning. They'll have the motorcade, which will start here at 5 o'clock. It starts here at the high school. The route, it either went out tonight or is going out tomorrow to the parents. There was a change to the route because the fire trucks can't make one of the turns. We wanted to get that out to parents early in case they were planning on hanging out around where that route is. So I don't think the motorcade's actually going to go by the other schools this year, because those fire trucks don't turn so well. But they'll do the motorcade. We'll leave here at 5. It'll be back here around 5:30, and then we'll do class night. And we'll probably just do it outside, even if the guidance changes. I really kind of like doing it outside. It's kind of, it's relaxed. It's nice. The rain date for that will be Wednesday, if it does rain on Tuesday. Wednesday has its own things. There's going to be a senior breakfast that morning, and then there'll be a rehearsal, and then we will do our graduate parade, which these guys don't know about yet because I haven't talked to them about it, but it's probably going to be a walk-by this year instead of a walk-through. Typically, the students will wear their gowns, and they'll walk through the other schools, and they'll say hi to the kids. I'm envisioning something more like a walk-by like we did at Halloween. The rain day for that will be Thursday, June 3rd. There's nothing else planned on Thursday except for graduation rehearsal, and then Friday is the main event. We will hold a rehearsal that morning if necessary, which is to say, like, if they can't figure out how to walk, we'll have to have them come in. They should be fine. The graduation ceremony itself will start at 5:30, right down here on the field. We're going to do an outdoor graduation, so if it rains, we're just going to push it back exactly 24 hours to Saturday at 5:30, and if it's still raining, we'll go Sunday at 5:30 because we don't want to limit who can come, and if we're indoors, we really are limited in who can come. The graduation ceremony does start at 5:30. We're planning on having the graduates march out like they have in the past. The bagpiper will be there, preferably at a distance because that's not a very safe instrument with COVID. And then we'll go through the ceremony. So the changes that have come out on graduation so far are that basically families won't have to wear masks during the ceremony. But I haven't heard any change yet on the maximum number of guests that a student can bring. So right now it's set at 6. And if that guidance changes, we may change some of the whole plan. So if they maintain a max number of guests, even if they bring it up to 8 or something like that, we'll probably still have the graduates still sit with their families. If they just make it unlimited, it's open, just like old days, then we'll go back to having the graduates all sitting together if we can space them out enough that they don't have to wear their masks. They do all have matching masks to wear for graduation, so if they have to wear masks, it's not the worst thing in the world. And then from there, everything else will just basically be the same plan that we've always done with graduation, or the same plan that we did last year. So it worked really well. They sit with their families until they're ready to be called up. We'll call 10 kids up at a time to stand by the stage. They'll cross the stage. Plenty of spaces for parents to take pictures, the whole deal. After graduation, that night is the senior lock-in that Celebration Graduation does at Pins. Looks like it's going to be pretty well attended. And I do have a box of diplomas that need to be signed by the chair of the school committee when you have a chance. Just a reminder,
Just like laughing over there.
since we know who it is now. There's also, for the students who are not seniors, we do have an athletic banquet that is coming up June 12th. There's senior athletic awards too, but I don't know when we're doing those yet. I need to check with Mary Sokol. But there's an athletic banquet that's for all athletes that's going to be held June 12th. And we are working on putting together an art show. So the art show that we do every year, it's usually here in the lobby. We actually try to do it on a school committee night so that you guys have a chance to walk through too. We didn't do it last year because of COVID, so we're trying to gather artwork from the last 2 years so that those students can have their art displayed. And we're looking to do that sometime in June. It'll be after the seniors, it'll be after the seniors have graduated. My mask is giving me a lot of trouble, sorry. it'll be after the seniors have graduated, and we'll do that art show. And it's just a great opportunity for the kids to show off the work that they've done. And the art programs have really expanded here in the last year, so there is a ton of stuff that the kids can show off. And I'm pretty excited about that. There won't be the food that we normally do, probably, but just having a chance to put that artwork on display for everybody would be great. And that was all I could think of. We'll be pretty busy.
I just want to applaud you all for, putting forth plans to celebrate all the students, but especially the seniors growing off. They've been really robbed this year. So I applaud everybody because it takes a whole village to make sure everybody gets, and it's great to hear about, preschool, first grade, the move updates, the coordination, the thought and everything else. I appreciate it. I know the rest of the board appreciates it as well, so thank you.
Oh, you know what, there wasn't one other thing. I am going to try to work with Mr. Olson on a step-up day for the 8th grade to come up here. We wanted to kind of do something different, to maybe have them come up here and kind of do like activities related to the classes next year, so they can watch the robots in action, they can do something in the shop, they can do something with PE, they can do something with poetry, they can watch Mr. Thayer blow something up or whatever in biology. So they can do those kinds of more fun things and kind of get a taste of what we're going to do up here. So my thought was to maybe bring up like half the grade one day, half the grade the other day, let them eat lunch here and do stuff like that. Once the seniors are gone, the capacity's kind of bigger. So I want to kind of do something more than just a tour and join the soccer team. Just something that gets them a little more active and engaged when they come up here for that. So, and that's what we're looking to do. Thank you.
Before I bring Mrs. Urquhart out, I just want to echo what you said. It's awesome to see some normalcy back in the school year, but also remember, it's a crazy time of year, but add on top of that, the COVID restrictions, although they're lessened now, that you have to include as you plan all these events. So it's incredible the amount of work that they've done, and it's awesome that we're able to do this for our kids. Mrs. Urquhart.
Thank you.
Good evening. All right, so are we doing the vote right now for the homeless policies, or am I doing an update?
You're doing an update.
both.
Well, we got to wait till we get to the
I know.
consent.
I didn't know, I don't know the agenda.
Yeah.
All right, so two things I want to report out on. We have our 13th annual Special Olympics coming on May 27th. If it does rain, because we cannot have it inside, we're going to do it on the 28th. The one thing I was wondering is, can we still call it the annual celebration because we didn't have it last year? I was seriously thinking about that. You can still do that? Yeah. Looking to Courtney. The numbers one.
You get a buy for last year.
Yeah. Just asking. COVID changed everything. So what we're going to do, Megan Zabicki has been absolutely wonderful. She's acting as the chair. We have the peer leaders that are going to be working with the students and sort of bringing that unified sports element back, something that we had been working on, a couple of years ago prior to COVID. So we have that. It is going to be cut short. It's only going to be from 9 to 10:45 this year. Reason being, having the kids, because of the restrictions and when we set it up and like that, having the kids all together eating, we didn't know what the restrictions were going to be at the time. So we're going to have them participate in the activities, and then they're going to go back to the schools, and they're going to eat their typical lunch that they would. Big thank you to Telstone Transportation Company. Per usual, they are donating transportation for the event. They will be transporting our band, our peer leaders, and our athletes. So huge thank you to them. Again, thank you to our band, as always. They're going to be starting it off for us, starting off with the anthem and all of it. So it's going to be fun, as always. The other thing I want to report out on is extended school year. We started the process. At this point, we put the posting out for teachers, paraprofessionals, ABAs, BCBA, PT, OT, and that is it. We've acquired all the positions, put out a recommendation letter, and appointment letters have gone out. I would say probably tomorrow or Friday, parents will be receiving a letter if their student is eligible for extended school year. And at that point, parents can make a decision as to whether or not they want to move forward with that for their child. And like Dr. Vera said, the guidelines will remain per May, June. And that's all I have. Any questions? Good?
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that is it for my report tonight.
All right, so school committee and subcommittee report, accounts payable.
Me. All right. So I signed warrant 46, school lunch 21, dated 5/14/21, which was 3 batches totaling $3,457.23. Warrant 46, school year 21, dated 5/13/21, which was 10 batches totaling $32,082.03. Warrant 45, school lunch 21, dated 5/7/21, which was 1 batch totaling $9,153.39. And warrant 45, school year 21, dated 5/6/21, which was 8 batches totaling $152,555.77. There was nothing unusual. Any questions? I have copies of the full thing, too. Little light reading.
Consent agenda. Let's review the May 5th, 2021 meeting minutes.
I didn't see anything.
I make a motion to approve the school committee meeting minutes for May 5th, 2021.
Motion made by Lisa. I need a second.
Second?
Second by Becky. Roll call vote. All in favor?
Aye.
The next is the vote for the homelessness and foster care policies by JFA BD and JFA BF. Ms. Urquhart?
Well done. So about 3 school committee meetings ago, I did a presentation on the homeless policy and the updated foster care policy. At the last meeting, Dr. Vieira did an overview, made sure that you didn't have any questions. At this point, this would be the third piece. So if you feel prepared enough to vote on that, I would be asking for you to do so. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer them.
I'd be looking for a motion.
Make a motion to approve the JFABD, Homeless Students Enrollment Rights and Services, and the JFABF, Education Opportunities for Children in Foster Care.
Motion made by Lisa. I'm looking for a second.
Second.
Second by Becky. Roll call vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Okay, thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Nelia. Okay, and the next one is the calendar adjustments.
Sure, so we noticed a couple of things. So the first is that we had Christmas vacation wrong on the calendar, and we had the end of the school year wrong on the calendar. So we definitely had to make those adjustments there. The other thing is we had to add a new holiday, June 19th, to the calendar. Back on July 24th of 2020, Governor Baker signed a bill designating Juneteenth as the annual state holiday for Massachusetts in an effort to recognize the continued need to ensure racial freedom and equity. And under state law, all public schools must be closed on statewide holidays. So this year, June 19th falls on a Saturday, and by law, it is celebrated on a Saturday. Next year, June 19th falls on a Sunday, and by law, the Sunday holiday is celebrated and honored on a Monday. So next year, you'll see June 20th on your calendar highlighted as a no-school day in recognition of the state holiday, which is now mandated that public schools close on that day. So those were the 2 changes that we needed added and revised in the calendar.
Had we just not taken off the 24th, like we, in the previous one?
In the previous one, I believe that the 24th I think that triangle on the 23rd was moved up to the 24th. So it was just, we had one less day. And on the last day of school, we didn't have it as 5 days out with snow days. We only had it as, I believe, 4 days out. So we just had to make that adjustment.
And it's 5 days, including the 20th.
Well, it's not, yeah, correct.
Accounting for the 20th.
Correct, counting for the 20th.
What's their reasoning? But do we know what the reasoning is for if it's on a Saturday, we leave it, and if it's on a Sunday, we,
Oh, no, I think he meant to say if it's on a Saturday, you'll be out on Friday.
on a Friday?
It'll be Friday.
Well, it says here, by state law, June 19th falls on a Saturday. By state law means it's celebrated on a Saturday. That's
That
what,
doesn't make any sense.
just what the advisory says.
Yeah.
However,
with-
in
yeah,
22, June 19th falls on a Sunday, and under state law, a legal holiday that falls on a Sunday is observed the following Monday.
Oh,
I was just,
yeah, because usually I know what Becky
Yeah.
means, because usually
Yeah, I
when
know.
it's a Saturday, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
it
Friday and then a Sunday and Monday, yeah, wow.
Unless the attorneys that put it out are wrong,
no,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, at least we're all set for this calendar. If they make it, well, 6 years from now, we'll, yeah.
Okay.
They'll probably come out with a revised, who knows?
I'll be looking for a motion.
That's funny.
I move to approve the updated Douglas Public Schools school year calendar for 2021 to 2022.
All those in favor?
Second?
Oh, second, sorry. All those, second by Lisa. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? The next is the school business and operation manager's report. Courtney.
I do have for you this evening some transfers and just transfers. Trying to get caught up on the general fund budget. Basically, there's a few of these that were requested by administrators, but most of them is just my going through the budget and making adjustments that have to be made. And then once these are posted, I promise you at the next one, you will have a general fund report again. Get these to Jean and, for the next school committee meeting. Did anybody have any questions?
Make a motion to approve the FY 2021 budgetary transfer request number 5. School committee meeting, May 19th, 2021.
Motion made by Lisa. I need a second, please.
Second.
Second by Becky. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Geez, I'm sorry. And Monique, did you have any questions on this? I know you just voted, but do you want an explanation of what it is, or?
This is something that comes out that we'll see in this form regularly?
Oh, yes, yeah. So basically, I'm going through, because the way Mass General Law works is, we get one bottom line appropriation to school department per Mass General Law, but it's all split out per DESE chart of accounts. And so that, and if one line goes over, I just have to move funds from one line to another line.
Okay.
Just to clean up the budget, to have it. So there aren't any minuses in any account, any negative amounts.
Right, right.
I apologize. I should have explained that before I.
No, I
Going
think,
to a vote.
I think it's something that I'll probably have questions, ongoing for you, just to kind of get a sense of the monies and that going forward, so.
Yep, like I said, if any time, just stop by my office and I'll be happy to go over anything that you have any questions on the budget or process or anything. Be very happy to do that. Okay, so next time I will have a general fund report after these are posted, so it'll look nice and clean, okay? And the only other thing I had, I just want to reiterate what Dr. Vieira said with regard to Tellstone. So they actually stayed here, so that day, like you said, it was actually over 2 hours after they would have actually left after their last run. So, and they handled everything wonderfully too, as far as, being notified and just keeping, they really have been a wonderful company throughout all the years. And so they actually stayed on site for over 2 hours, and 3 of those drivers actually canceled their doctor's appointments too, so that they could stay, to be here to transport our students. And again, Mrs. Urquhart did mention about the Special Olympics, and, there's so many times that they've come through for us, and, we really do appreciate it greatly. So that's all I have for now. Hopefully the Student Activity Fund audits will be out soon. They're just finalizing it now. I'm hoping I'll have those for the next meeting as well. Hopefully. Okay, does anyone have any questions on anything? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any topics not anticipated that we need to discuss? Do we need an executive session?
Do not.
I'd be looking for a motion for adjournment.
I move to adjourn school committee meeting at 8:00 PM.
Motion made by Becky. I need a second, please.
Second?
Second by Lisa Brown. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you all. Have a wonderful evening. The next school committee meeting will be